Why are you here right now? No, seriously, why are you watching this video instead of doing that one thing you know you need to do? You know exactly what I am talking about. That project, that workout, that difficult conversation, that application you've been putting off for days, weeks, maybe even years. You tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow. But let's be brutally honest, tomorrow is the most dangerous word in the English language. It is a graveyard where dreams go to die. Tomorrow never comes, because when it arrives, you just call it today and push the goalpost back again. You are not lacking time. You are bleeding it. If that truth stings, it's supposed to. If you are tired of lying to yourself and you're finally ready to take control of your mind and your future, hit that subscribe button and like this video right now. Make this your very first micro-commitment to change. Consider it a pact between you and me. You're not just a passive viewer anymore. You are someone who takes action. Welcome to the 1%. Now, let's dissect exactly why you are doing this. As a behavioral psychologist, I hear the same excuse every single day. I just have terrible time management. Nonsense. Procrastination is not a time management problem. It is an emotional regulation problem. You are not lazy. You are terrified. You have trapped yourself inside what I call the invisible cage. This cage is forged from the iron bars of comfort and the padlock of instant gratification. When you face a task that requires effort, your brain perceives it as a threat. It anticipates stress, boredom, or the agonizing possibility of failure. So, what does your brain do? It protects you. It seeks refuge in the familiar, cheap dopamine of scrolling through social media, binge-watching a show, or doing meaningless busy work. You think you are relaxing, but you are actually shrinking. Every time you choose the easy distraction over the difficult action, the walls of the invisible cage close in just a little bit more. You are conditioning your brain to flee at the first sign of friction. You are developing a fixed mindset, subconsciously believing that your abilities are static, and therefore, any struggle is proof of your inadequacy, so you don't try. If you never try, you never fail. Right, wrong, the failure is already happening. It's just silent. It is the slow, agonizing failure of unfulfilled potential. And here is the most sinister trick your mind plays on you, the future self-illusion. Or what psychologists call time inconsistency. You view the you of tomorrow as a completely different person. A superhero. You think, tomorrow's me will wake up early. Tomorrow's me will have infinite motivation. Tomorrow's me will be disciplined. I need you to listen to me very carefully. Tomorrow's you is the exact same tired, easily distracted, anxious person that you are right now. By pushing tasks onto your future self, you are acting like a terrible boss, dumping an unbearable workload onto an employee you don't respect. Why would you do that to yourself? You are mortgaging your future to buy a few minutes of hollow comfort in the present. Look at the graveyard of your past tomorrows. How many times have you made that promise, only to break it the moment the sun came up? This cognitive dissonance, the gap between who you want to be and what you are actually doing, is what creates the persistent, heavy anxiety in your chest. That low-grade guilt ruins your so-called relaxation. You can never truly enjoy your free time because the shadow of the undone task is always looming over you. To break free, we must understand the mechanics of this self-sabotage. It's not just about willpower. Willpower is a finite resource. It depletes as the day goes on. When you rely solely on motivation to get things done, you are building a house on a foundation of sand. Motivation is an emotion, and like all emotions, it is fleeting. It comes and goes with the weather, your blood sugar levels, or a random comment someone made. If you wait until you feel like doing something, you will be waiting until you are dead. Action does not follow motivation. Motivation follows action. But your brain has a built-in resistance to taking that first step. Think about a rocket launching into space. It expends the vast majority of its fuel just breaking through the Earth's atmosphere, just overcoming gravity in the first few miles. Once it is in orbit, it requires a fraction of the energy to keep moving. Your tasks are exactly the same. The gravity of your procrastination is strongest right before you begin. You are standing on the launch pad, staring at the sky, terrified of the fuel it will take to lift off. But what if I told you there is a way to hack this system? What if I told you a story about someone who was stuck in the exact same paralyzing cage you are in right now? And how they found the master key to walk out? Let me tell you about a client I worked with a few years ago. We will call him Alex. Alex was brilliant. He had a notebook filled with million-dollar ideas, a half-finished manuscript, and a profound desire to change his life. But his reality: he was stuck in a dead-end job, drowning in credit card debt, and spending 6 hours a day numbing himself with video games. He was the quintessential prisoner of the invisible cage. Alex came into my office completely defeated. He looked at me with tears in his eyes and said, "I think I am just fundamentally broken. I know exactly what I need to do, but I physically cannot make myself do it." He believed he lacked some genetic mutation for discipline that successful people possessed. I told Alex what I am about to tell you. You are not broken. You are just operating the wrong machinery. We stopped focusing on the mountain of work he had to do. The mountain was terrifying. It triggered his fight or flight response. And he was choosing flight every single time. Instead, I introduced him to a powerful psychological concept called the Zeigarnik effect. Discovered by a Russian psychologist, this principle states that human beings remember uncompleted or interrupted tasks better than completed ones. Our brains naturally crave closure. When a task is unfinished, it creates cognitive tension. But here is the secret: to trigger the Zeigarnik effect, you actually have to start. I gave Alex a challenge. He was not allowed to write a chapter of his book. He wasn't even allowed to write a page. His only assignment was to open his laptop, write a single sentence, and then he had to close it. That was it. He laughed. It sounded ridiculous, almost insulting to his intelligence. But that was the point. By making the task absurdly small, we completely bypassed his brain's threat detection system. Writing one sentence requires zero motivation. It requires zero willpower. The next day, Alex opened his laptop and wrote his one sentence. But a funny thing happened. The rocket was off the launch pad. The friction of starting was gone. He looked at that single sentence, and the Zeigarnik effect kicked in. His brain craved completion. One sentence turned into a paragraph. A paragraph turned into a page. He wrote for an hour. This is the master key to escaping procrastination, the law of microaction. You must shrink your focus down to the absolute smallest physical step. You don't clean the house. You put away one coffee mug. You don't do a 45-minute workout. You put on your running shoes and stand outside the door. When you do this, you are not just getting work done, you are doing something far more profound. You are engaging in an identity shift. Every time you procrastinate, you are casting a vote for the identity of someone who is unreliable. Someone who breaks promises to themselves. This destroys your self-trust. But every time you take a micro-action, no matter how small, you are casting a vote for a new identity. You are proving to your subconscious mind, with undeniable evidence, that you are a person of action. You are rebuilding the bridge of self-trust, brick by tiny brick. Listen to me, I know how heavy the guilt feels right now. I know you look at the time you've wasted and you feel a sickening sense of regret. You might be thinking, it's too late, I'm too far behind, the damage is done. That is the final, desperate lie your invisible cage is whispering to keep you trapped. Thanks to neuroplasticity, your brain is entirely malleable. You can rewrite your neurological pathways starting this exact second. Your past does not dictate your future unless you allow it to. The person who wasted yesterday does not have to be the person who lives today. You have a superpower that you are ignoring, the power of choice in this microscopic present moment. You are standing at a crossroads right now. Down one path is the familiar, comfortable darkness of tomorrow. It is easy, it is numb, and it leads to a life of quiet desperation and unfulfilled potential. Down the other path is friction. It is uncomfortable, it is challenging, But it is the only path that leads to freedom, pride, and the life you actually deserve. Do not wait for the perfect mood. The mood will never come. Do not wait for inspiration. Inspiration rewards the worker, not the dreamer. Here is your final call to action. I don't want you to think about the finished project. I don't want you to worry about how long it will take. I want you to identify the absolute smallest, most ridiculous micro step you can take right now. When this video ends, I want you to close this app. Do not scroll to the next video. Do not check the comments. Put the phone down, stand up, and take that one micro step. Break the cage, launch the rocket, prove to yourself who you really are. Your future is waiting for you. Go claim it, right now.